Friday morning. It's Stitch Along Friday again. I don't even know what the date is, but it's near the end of February, I'm pretty sure. I've been playing with my lights this morning because, as you know, I'm downsizing. So those big lights that I used to use that were perfect um, are now no longer here. So I've been playing with these ring lights and these LED lights, and I can't seem to get them to just stay the way they seem to like swell up in light and then they go down in light. So I don't know. I hope I don't look too pink or too white or too anything. You know, I've got the window on this side and I have lights on this side, and it looks like the lights are not able to compete with the window. And I think that's the problem. So I should put all of them over there. Anyway, it's fascinating, all this lighting. I hope that you are all well in this horrible, snowy, cold, freezing, miserable North American blanketed with winter. I can't believe what's happened with all of our weather over the last couple of days. I know it's all coming down from the Arctic. They're not coming from Canada, just so you know. It's coming over Canada and then over the States, okay? Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for saying that the color looks good. It's just like a question of balancing. And of course, I have to get up, adjust it, then come back down. And is that better or worse? So it can drive you crazy. So, Brenda, good morning. It's so good to see you here. And VS fans, exactly. So, Lisa, have you decided to go up to visit your mom, or are you planning on just hanging in for a little while and then go? Or because it's pretty tough driving over to Port Alberni, I think. Thank you, Lynn Burton. That's good. I guess I got the balance okay. Loretta says, hello, everyone. You look fine. Good. Thank you. We haven't had any snow. Yesterday was 70 degrees. Today we're in the 30s. Holy mac. Well, you know, it's the same here. We had lovely spring weather. Everybody was getting ready, you know, putting on their lighter jackets, and then bang. Luckily, just like you, Loretta, we don't have snow here in Victoria, which is great. There was a little flurry here and there, but it's darn cold and it's sunny, which is also good. I'm not complaining. I'm just thinking of all the other people in North America that are experiencing this Arctic outflow. And I don't think that's very fun for some people. So I hope that those of you who are affected to the point where you can't move, stitch. Get everything done, make some soup or chili and stitch. Put your crock pot on or your air fryer or whatever it is that makes it so that you don't have to worry. And hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the couple of days, because I don't think it's going to last forever. It's February, not January or December. Looks like a whole bunch of people have just popped in. At least that's what I see on my side. Gail Stetler, good to see you. Lisa says, yes, I think I will go up around noon. That's a really good idea. And of course, I know how careful you are. Just imagining you stranded in a ditch by the side of the road. I kept texting Lisa last night saying, are you sure you're going? But your mom will appreciate it. So that's good. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. And looks fine to me. Okay, we've already gone over this because it pops, you know, my comment section pops when somebody comes in, and so it's a little bit tough to know what's next. Who's next? Marty looks like from Lake Placid, 18 degrees and overcast, heading for 0. Yeah, exactly. Loretta says we go up to the 50s again. That's good. Brenda says, but the snowpack is good because of the snow. Okay. The snowpack is good because of the snow. Yippee. And Brenda, that's very cute. Good morning, Pat Henke. Good to see you. Let's see who else is here this morning. Let's see. Oh, I just have to click over here so that I know what's happening. Sorry about that, everyone. I know I'll get there soon. Marieke Falant is there from Orlando, Florida. I think that's going to be a really nice place to be right now. You probably don't have any of the extra cold that, like for you, extra cold is probably 50 degrees Fahrenheit. But who knows? Because I'm not in Orlando myself, so I don't know what it's like there. We had 8 inches of snow, says Marty. Oh my goodness, into today. Marsha Buckingham, hello, good morning from Dallas, she says. Anita says, expecting snow tomorrow, so a good stitching day, and that's the key. I think having an attitude about snow, like, oh, it's awful. If you have to go somewhere, it's not so easy. That I get. But if you can stay home, it's a pretty good opportunity. Uh, and those of you who have decided that you're going to stay at home carefully and safely, because it's not you driving. I know this for a fact. There are, I call them yahoos. Usually they're in a truck, and they're going yahoo as they're driving down the highway because they're all challenged and invigorated by driving in snow. It makes them feel good and risque and everything. The rest of us are going, what? Especially when you get older, it's pretty difficult. Donna says cold, rain, thunder, lightning. Whoa. So it sounds like if you knew that, then you were awake for some of the night, Donna. I know I was, although around midnight it's been blowing and blowing like the mistral for, I don't know, 2 days here, and I've got trees around, so it sounds like an engine is constantly going back and forth, constantly. So what I decided to do was fight back with my own white noise. I've got an app on my iPad that overlays anything else. At around midnight, I turned it on, and it's the ocean surf, coming in, whoosh, 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 and it made it a little extra loud so I wouldn't hear the wind so much, and I slept like a baby right after that. Just imagining that beautiful sound of the surf. Oh, thank you, Marty. Those spring flowers, I wish they were actual and real, but they do give that atmosphere, and that's what counts. I have a hard time thinking to myself that everything is going to be blooming anytime soon, and it will. In another week or so, we should be, right in daffodil season around here. Thanks, Marty. Jean Morrison, good morning from 73 sunny Atlanta. So it didn't reach all the way down there, but I heard that Los Angeles and Las Vegas were snowed in. Marty says, it has been 2 weeks. We definitely need an angel blessing card today. Yes, thank you very much for reminding me. Good afternoon, Margaret. Good to see you. Let's see who else. Linda Bazarski. Good afternoon, of course, for you, and same to you. Tammy's home today. Yay, not shopping. I wouldn't be shopping either. Lisa says, I'll be sure to take it slow and easy on the drive. I can't miss Mom's 80th birthday. No, I get that. Tomorrow is supposed to be snow, so today will be a better day to drive, and then you can go home on the next day because it'll have melted by then. That's usually the way it goes around here anyway. Mary Woodritz is here. Hello, Louise Fossa. Good day to stitch here as icy cold Niagara Falls in the 20s. Here we are. All of my friends are here, and so good to see you all. And those of you who have to kind of stay in, make some soup and sit and stitch, look out the window at the beauty, because that's one thing that snow does for me anyway. It makes me feel really good just to look at it, not to be totally in it all the time. As it is, we have sunshine out my window, bright, bright cold, still lots of wind out here, but it seems like it's dying down. So we have a weather report from all over, including England and including Florida. Let's see. Pat Henke says, finally got the house somewhat back in order and finally got back into the sewing room, back to sewing, working on do-it-yourself projects run coming in. Yay! You sound enthusiastic, Pat. That's so good to hear. Those of you who have been putting off finishing, this is also a good time because you might have a couple of hours of, uninterrupted time. You're not going to have visitors most likely if you're in the middle of a snowfall. And I agree with you. It's very inspirational to hear someone's going to sit down and actually do a do-it-yourself project run. Way to go, Pat. I know it's time, Marty, to do the... Oh, you've got rain? Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you don't want to go out in that either. At least I don't. Lynn Molitor is here. Hello. Good afternoon to you too. And it's so odd to me always to be saying afternoon and sometimes way early morning and sometimes late at night for people all around the world. But I'm grateful to you for joining. It's so nice to know that there are people connecting on the airwaves, and we're all here at the same time in our own respective homes, obviously with different conditions, but still connected by stitching. Pretty inspiring right there. I've got the cards because there are not very many left. It looks like there's like 4 left from all the ones that I started with. Remember, I put them in a drawer so that I wouldn't repeat them. So this is the one. See, I wasn't looking. This is the one for today. Oh, well, that's pretty simple. Follow your dreams. You know what you really need are some dreams. I have found that if I don't actually make my own dreams, I can't follow them. So I've been doing some dream creating lately because I've been decluttering, as everyone knows. I'm moving now, or at least most people might know. And I'm selling this house, which includes my studio. Remember, everything that's in Victoria's Sampler is also going. So it's been a bit tough to figure out what to take with me, etc. So, but I don't know where I'm going to end up, and it may not be. I might not have this background anymore. I might have my models in storage by the time I leave in June. So I'm really grateful that you guys are here now at the last little gasp of my studio. That doesn't mean it's the last little gasp for me. I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be there in a different mode. So all my downsizing, I guess you call it, has been really good. Like I've gotten rid of some really big objects in my home and downstairs, but there's also a whole bunch of little stuff, that you collect over the years. And so even that I'm getting a handle on. So I'm really kind of happy in that case, and progressing through to what's going to happen after I move. And who knows what's going to happen after anyone moves, especially if you have no direct, like I don't have another house I'm going to move into. I'm either going to rent a condo for a while here, or I might put everything in storage and go to Mazatlan to join my partner. And I couldn't envision how I was going to do that at one point, like even a month or 3 weeks ago, I couldn't envision it. I'm starting to see how that might be possible. just tentatively so far. So in which case, we'll be renting a larger place there rather than the place he's got right now, which is just for him. Anyway, this is all exciting, and my dreaming is also including what I'm going to do with Victoria Sampler, with Lisa, I'm hoping. And sometimes I get really down and I think I'm not going to do anything, but those are moods and they pass. And I know in effect, I have to create the dreams with you in order to be able to figure out. It's not figuring. It's almost like I'm being led into doing what I need to do in order to make room for the dreams that I'm tentatively starting to dream. So Lisa, just remember, I know I talked to you kind of negatively last time, but those emotions I have to go through them. And so I hope you know that that's a passing thing, and I think we are going to do just fine. I hope in the future we get to do lots of fun things together. Marley, hola, good to see you, boa tarde. And Patty's Englandag is here. Good morning. Pat says, I don't go out in the rain, slippery sidewalks, afraid of falling. Yes, as we get older, we don't want to fall. I noticed that. And so generally, I also try to, not stay home, but I am careful when I walk anywhere, when I drive anywhere. I'm with you on that. And depending on your balance, I also practice my balance. I stand on one leg pretty much every night just before I have my dinner. I do my standing on one each leg, for a while. And I try to do a yoga pose, but that's not always successful. But as long as I'm balancing, and I have a little balance board that I use as well, those things really help give you confidence and also ability to not fall over. Fall over is about right. Susan, William Randall, I'm so glad you're here. How are you doing? I had to get in touch with Susan because I didn't know that she wasn't watching the auction. And I guess those of you who have seen the auction know that Susan got the winning bid for the last, the last spindle, pincushion, wooden sections. Anyway, we finally got in touch. I'm so grateful because I didn't want to have Susan be, left out in the cold. So we figured it out. It is now in a box and it's in my car, Susan. So you'll be happy to know it's on its way. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you feel better. Jennifer Chung, good morning, everyone, she says. Good morning to you too, Jennifer. I am so glad, Susan, that you're doing so much better. It's horrible when you get attacked by, some kind of illness and you're just helpless. You have no choice. You have to just do what you can do and not try to feel bad about what you can't. So glad that I got in touch with you and that you're feeling better. Okay, I'm ready to start on my model parade. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But before I start on the model parade, I remember talking to you a little bit about the Victoria Sampler and how I started with. Let me just get my models here. Sorry, I know I've got too many models sitting here, so I'm going to put some on one side, and so that I can reach them. Where's Lisa when you need her, right? And I think this one I've already showed you, but this was one of the ones that I did next after the Parliament buildings in Victoria. And this one never got published. So this particular design, I think, it's really cute, and it is the Butcher Gardens. I mean, it's the beginning of the Butcher Gardens, so it was a good design. I honestly don't know why it never got off the ground. I don't think that I had the energy at that time to create the chart for it, because it's one thing to do the designing, and then it's another thing entirely and a completely different mindset to do the chart and the directions. And Lisa has taken that off my, I'll call it plate, but it was not in my bailiwick anymore when Lisa came to work with me. And it was so wonderful because we each had our specialty. Her layouts and her directions and charts are so accurate, and mine would be so full of holes. I don't think that I would have done nearly as good a job. But anyway, this never did get anywhere near being charted. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might just donate it to the Butcher Garden so they can hang it. And then, of course, I'll get questions. Can I have that pattern? But I'll find out whether they will accept it. Thank you, Anita. Some of us, I could also auction it off, but it's got glass on it, so it might be a bit expensive to send in the mail, but I could do it. Let me see what everyone else is saying. I have to be very careful to stop saying, Jennifer Chung, hello. Margaret Biggs is here. Oh, sorry, Margaret Biggs. Melanson, hello, everyone. Oh, you've been shoveling. Nova Scotia must be inundated. Lisa says, no problem, Thea. Oh, thank you. Working on envisioning my dreams, too. We'll have to get together soon to talk about them. Yes, let's have, another breakfast. I love those breakfasts. And I think that if we're both in a good, constructive mood, we'll get something out of it instead of feeling, depressed after we talk. I'm glad that you're sitting at home in your PJs. That's where you are when I need you. That one of the Butcher Gardens was one of the ones that I did, and of course it never was brought to the fore. Then I did these two, and I thought I was going to do all the flowers across Canada, but I got bored, actually. I think that I was just waiting to do some samplers instead. I did both of these cross stitches. One's for the BC Dogwood, and one's for Alberta, which was the next one on the list. And for some reason, and I think I know why, even though I like them, it's just cross stitch. And as you can tell, now I love doing cross stitch and some cross stitch, but that's not my main focus, as you all probably know by now. So when I did these two, I kind of decided that by the time I got to, let's see, there's Alberta and then there would be Saskatchewan. I think I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. And so these ones are the only two I did of the flowers of the provinces of Canada, which was fine. I mean, this was right at the beginning of when I started doing any business. I made kits out of these, and I stuck the kits in the back of my car in big boxes, and I went traveling up and down in my station wagon with the wood on the side, the plastic wood, Sometimes I took my kids. And I would go up and down the island, going to all the craft stores and the wool stores and various different touristy shops, and I would sell the kits, absolutely, and I would make some models so that they could hang them in their stores. So I did that for, let's see, I must have done that for about 4 years with lamppost designs. This was another little design I made of the, oh, okay, there we go, of the oldest lighthouse on the west coast, and it still is the oldest on the west coast of British Columbia. It's called Fiskard Lighthouse, and the reason I'm showing you these is because they're probably going to go in storage. So this is my last chance to put them on a video and have them there for posterity. And finally, I also did a bird of BC, which to us is the Steller's jay. So throughout all this, as you can tell by the shading that I did with this, I learned a lot. And even though each individual cross stitch, it's nice, and I'm very proud of what I did then. Even though there wasn't a lot to each cross stitch, I learned and learned and learned because I'm self-taught. All the shading was something that I had to learn how to do with the DMC that was available to me at that time. So, you know, it wasn't just a question of getting into Victoria Sampler and immediately producing beautiful samplers with cross stitch. So I had my cross stitch background that I gradually, I can't tell you how many things I tried, learned how to do to some degree, with some degree of capability. And then I started marrying the cross stitch into my sampler work later on in the Victoria Sampler history. So it didn't all happen at once, that's for sure. And it's kind of fun to recall the history of what I did. Sorry for going back and forth, but I must put these models aside. There we go. Let's see. Let's see what everyone is talking about. There we go. I love that one. I'll come to the breakfast and take executive notes. Okay, you can come. We're going to the White Spot. That's where our favorite, because there's a really good breakfast there. Okay, I will check on Tuesday, see if I'm free for breakfast. Karen Lark says, good morning, watching in bed from wet and rainy New Zealand. Oh, so it's not cold though, right, in New Zealand? I would imagine, Karen, that you're under the rain umbrella, but not under snow like we are up here in North America. Loretta says, beautiful flowers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sometimes, you know, it was hard for me to translate a photograph or a memory even, because some of them are just memories of those things. But I used, at that time, I believe I used postcards. So there would be a postcard of a Steller's jay. I had no other method of transferring it. I didn't copy it over. I didn't use a computer program for any of this. I just used some graph paper and kind of put it over, and graph paper is not that see-through, so kind of put it over the darkest spots, and then I started filling in. So it wasn't like completely out of my head, but a lot of the shading, because you have to use the threads that you have. You don't have the colors, like a million colors. So I had to use the colors in the stock of thread of DMC that I had. And I found myself running to the store very often and getting an extra skein so that I could make up the, the difference. Donna Harvey says, good afternoon. I'm still in my PJs, the best part of being retired. Your lucky thing. I have to say that I don't stay in my PJs very long, because if I do, I don't do anything. I love that feeling, but I have so much to do on my side, and I'm lucky that I'm able to, so I'm doing as much as I can. But Donna, that moment where you decide you're just not going to get dressed at all that day, that is a good moment, and I've had those, especially when I'm ill. I really love, you know, allowing myself the day to run around in my pajamas. But if you're retired and you can do that, that's also lovely. So enjoy, Donna. Marty says, it sure is. Okay, Lisa, we'll get in touch. We'll be chatting away. So now, the next thing I wanted to show you, because I had finished showing you Heirloom Memories sampler, and now number 32 is the Woodland Garden sampler. And I'm going to show you the leaflets first so that you can see this is the one that you would be looking at online if you're inspired. So this is Woodland Garden sampler. And as you can see, the whole sampler is there. Very good pictures. Now let me see, where did I put it? I have it here somewhere. I think, yep, there it is. Okay, this is the very same, I think this is the very same one that's on the front cover. only the front cover got a little bit, was a little darker. So I think the whole thing kind of lightened up a little bit, or maybe it's just ended up the picture was darker. So Woodland Garden is very simple and sweet and gives the illusion of a woodland garden. It's not necessarily complicated with a lot of things in it, so it's very good for people who have not done samplers before or sampler stitches. These kind of pine needles are really fun to do. They're easy to do, and they're actually raised stitches all completely filled in. And of course my favorite, pulled thread, this one, and I think this is a, yeah, this is a hem stitch or a drawn thread section right there with some pulled thread around it on the outside and the top. And of course my little butterflies, my Rhodes butterflies, those are there. And looks like all in here is fantasy trees, which are lovely. This, actually the colors in this is my favorite. So if you can get a hold of this over dye, that is really the secret to the whole piece, if you have the ability to get that. I know I don't sell backpacks anymore, but I know that that thread, rainforest? No, Lisa will know. She'll know which thread that is. That is a Gloriana thread, and it's just yum yum. Christmas Virtues was the next one, and I think it's number 33. Yes, 33. Christmas Virtues was a completely different departure from what I was doing. They are ornaments, and they didn't take me that long, so they wouldn't take you that long to make. They are kind of structured around virtues. And when I looked up how many virtues there are, because by this time I was using the internet, I couldn't believe how many virtues are being taught in more like in church schools or various different, there was one, I think there was an organization that was to do with virtues, and they would give a lecture on one particular virtue all the time, every week or something like that. So anyway, there's a huge amount of information on the various virtues that are really part of ethical living. And so I love this one, and I don't think I have the ornaments right in front of me. I should, but I don't. But I do have the virtues, I believe. Let's see, is this faith? Yes. This is 3 of the virtues that are framed. So this is another way to do them. And as you can tell, I put a little bow and the little, like they're ornaments as well. Even though the ornaments themselves don't have that section, this looks like they are actual glass ornaments. So faith, hope, and charity are on this one. And I think this is the original frame piece, and the other one that's part of it is patience on this leaflet. So if you're ever thinking of doing these, you can get another one, because this is Christmas Virtues 1, and then a little later on I did Christmas Virtues 2. So I believe there are 8 of these, which would make an immensely beautiful gift and tree, combined with some other ornaments that and garlands, etc., that would make the little tree look really good. I have the other Virtues 2 here, but I'm not going to show. Yeah, I'll show you. Virtues 2 is here, and they are generosity, honesty, and compassion. And I love this frame that I put them in, but you'll have to wait for this one to be shown in order, because it's not actually, it's not number 33. Christmas Virtues is love, faith, and charity, and patience. And by the way, I need every single one of those right lately. Thanks, Loretta. Lynn says she's thinking of, oh, you are making those for your grandniece and grandnephew. It give them one each year. See, I think that's so meaningful. What a wonderful idea, Lynn. You know, you're not just giving them an ornament for Christmas, you're giving them some meaning and some wisdom from your perspective. It's perfect. I love your idea. Lisa says, oh yes, in Woodland Garden. Thank you. It's rainforest. And for some reason I knew it was rain, but I'd forgotten the forest part. So this color here, you see how many repeats there are and how many beautiful colors are in that over dye. So hopefully if you get it now, you will get the same experience I did when I first saw it. Okay, let's see. Oh, Sue, hi from Sturbridge. Sounds like you're there with everyone. Say hello to everyone for me if you're not in company with other people. But if you are, hello, hello, hello. It's so good. It's so good. And I'll be at Sturbridge next October. When am I going? Let's see. I think it was October 23rd. I think it was October 23rd. I'm pretty sure that was it. I think I've dropped the little piece of paper. 23rd and 24th of this year. I will be in Sturbridge also. So if you want to come and meet me or be taught by me and have some fun with me and with Sue and especially Jen, who is now organizing it, just go to stitchershideaway.com. That's what it was. Okay. Let's see what else someone said. Someone at the retreat finished Harbor Village. There? While they were at the retreat? Okay, that's pretty darn good. Because, you know, that's a big piece. So wish them all the best and also congratulate the lady who's finished Harbor Village. Wonderful. Okay, so that was my next thing in order that I designed them. So here comes literally the pièce de résistance. Up until now, I had been so thrilled with the reception of my designs in the needlework world, which was pretty big at that time. Pretty much every bigger town had a needlework store just for needlework. And many of them, of course, carried our patterns. I think we had over 700 stores that were carrying our patterns. At that time, we weren't selling retail. We were just selling to wholesale to our shops. And those over 700 stores were all over, not just in North America. It really was the heyday of the stitching time. And I was so, so grateful to be part of that time. In any case, up until now, Heirloom Wedding, I think, and Heart to Heart were some very big favorites. But then this one came out. And the reason I say this one came out was because we had to do a reprint, I think, on this one. We had printed them with a printer at that point, and the printer had paid, no, sorry, we had paid the printer for 5,000 leaflets, and we ran out in another year, I think, afterwards. So it just like exploded. We couldn't believe it, didn't understand it. It's a tree with a sampler underneath, but it was captured people's imagination. It was an elegant way to celebrate Christmas. And from my point of view, it was the way that I had been brought up because I'm European raised. And so we didn't do a lot of Santa and, gifts and that kind of, we didn't know gifts. It was fairly religious for us. We were raised a Catholic. And also all the gifts, etc., were St. Nicholas in Holland. So we didn't do any of the more commercial things. And so my memory of Christmas was literally elegant and beautiful and sparkling lights and midnight mass and that whole environment. And I love these soft shades. And I thought, well, if I can do these soft shades for Christmas, maybe this will be lovely. And we had chickadees around here. So I tried to see, you can see the pattern, sorry, all the different stitches I used for the gifts as well underneath. Stitching this tree was really challenging. And those of you who are stitching this or haven't stitched this yet, what I did was I did a basting line from there to the outskirts here. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards. So I basically basted a line from here to there to there to there. And I started filling it in with backstitch branches. That's how I did it. So none of this was charted much until I did that. And then I realized that if you want to stitch this too, you can stitch the outside branches of this tree. You can stitch, for instance, all these little ones down here from the chart and stitch the ones here and here from the chart. And then the ones inside, if you make a mistake, in other words, if you don't do it exactly as in the chart, nobody will see, nobody will notice, nobody will care. So that way you don't have to go from this to this to this to this to this. You don't have to count so much or for such a long time. So once these are all counted out correctly, then you're free to kind of embellish yourself. And then, of course, all the little roses and the pearls, the pearl discs and everything go on top. So then I did some of my favorite, I think this is when I've really started working with lace, lacy kind of effect. No, I did that also in the wedding sampler. So I just used it with Christmas, and I think that really struck a chord with a lot of people. This lace, for instance, has an Algerian eye in the middle, not Algerian, sorry, diamond eye in the middle. And of course, some really elegant bands. These bands are more elegant than they are for children. In other words, they're not about the child's point of view of Christmas. They're adult Christmas ideas, and I loved this lace. This ended up being so pretty, but then I'd had a lot of experience by then doing various different designs. So this came next, and then I have to be very happy to show you that I also stitched, again, this one in the reds, more or less a burgundy red with a regular green rather than a teal green. And so this is what it looks like. And in comparison, I would say I'm still very much not sure which one I like better. I'm going to put them together here so you can see yourself. Which one do you like best? Because the pattern, the leaflet, gives you the option for either one of these two colorways. This is really hard. Not so easy. The other one also, not this one, but this one also isn't stretched on anything dark. So you can see that the lace at the bottom is over white, and that makes it quite different than the pink one that I've got on the front cover. So you'll see also on the back cover is a picture of the colors in the red, but it shows a much shorter piece. And this shorter piece is actually way nice because you can do almost the same effect, just not so long. And I have got one here. It is glassed in, so it'll just take me a minute to position it so that you can see. Sorry about the lights. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, I only put in some of the bands, but of course I kept the heart hanger at the bottom, and it's very well balanced this way as well. Even though it's much shorter, you can get it finished much more quickly. So that's what happened with the heirloom Christmas design. And we counted maybe 5 years later, and by far it has been completely our best selling and most beloved of all my samplers, which you never know what's going to be attractive to people. So I'm so grateful that we have such a wildly successful and happy reaction to this one, which is number 34. Oh, now I'm going to have to see what you guys are up to in the comments, because also I have to rearrange these models. There's a lot of models today, but I wanted to do that because I wanted you to see what actually happens in a progressive design mind. I went from I went from Woodland Garden to the Virtues, both small pieces, and then I went to this monster piece. And I think that's what I used to do, is I would intersperse larger pieces with smaller pieces so that I can maintain a good, I'll call it the production part, so that I could have something ready for people on time. And during those days, we set up our production schedule. Remember that, Lisa? We had a schedule, and I had to work and get my piece done 6 months ahead of time. So I was always stitching 6 months before the season, and then it would go through the entire production. We had a board that showed where it would go. We had to do this, and then we had to order, and then we had to we'll have to talk about that sometime, but not today. There's a lot to I wanted to show you. But that production schedule I had to stick to. And so did Lisa, and so did the rest of our employees at that point. But it was important that we had some kind of schedule, because otherwise we go, well, weren't you supposed to be doing this or that? So we set up more like a business by this point. And it was particularly important when we started putting ACPACs together and having our at-home people creating the ACPACs for us. That was, whoa, that was some organization. It was really something. We'll have to talk sometime about creating backpacks because that took a long time and we ended up having an IT guy help us with how to order 4 backpacks. Anyway, let's see about what people are saying about stuff. Let's see. Okay, so Sue said Linda Edmondson finished it while she was here and everybody was drooling over it. Oh, Linda. Oh, I miss her. Maybe she's going to be there again. Who knows? Please say hello to her. Give her a hug for me. And people are so excited about having you teaching in October. Yes, that's so good to hear too. And I'm almost through the top part of the design, so it's getting there little by little. Lisa says, our heirloom Christmas has always been an extremely popular design. Loved stitching it myself. It hangs in my living room all year long. It is one of those things that doesn't really give you that, red and green thing about Christmas. It's elegant, so you can hang it wherever you want for as long as you want. And Brenda says, same here. Jennifer, hello, hello. I did heirloom Christmas in traditional color. I love it. Traditional colors are just antique as well. They weren't as soft as the other colors, but they definitely fit into any decor and would look lovely at Christmas time as well. Liz, you're here. I know you've lost your mojo again, but it's okay. And I know that also that life sometimes just gets in the way, especially if you're working hard. So give yourself a pat on the back for still keeping in touch, because I love to see your face and I will always remember the Stitchin' Witches because I even made a design that's called that. Jen, oh, that's good to see you too. How lovely. Lisa says, I stitched mine in the traditional colors too. Elizabeth says she's working on some finger towels for our friends we bowl with. Oh, you did get it back. Oh, okay. Here I was commiserating with you and you got it back. Well done. Doing small things really gets it back for me. I find that if I've got too big a piece, I don't get the endorphins. I need endorphins to keep going with anything large when life is, comes at you. Let's see what else. Cheryl says, this is one of my favorites. I did once and then used the candle band on a stocking that was filled with toiletries and donated to the transition house. Oh, how sweet. Our guild used to collect items every Christmas to donate. What a lovely thing to give. That person must still have it. Louise says, so beautiful, Thea. Gorgeous heart hanger. Thank you, thank you. I am so proud of it. I can't tell you that. Lisa says, yes, I remember setting up our schedule. It was a lot of work, but we did it. Yes, our memories are good of those things. Tammy says, I was looking for a spare scroll frame for another project and found in storage box 4 scroll frames with Victoria Sampler projects in progress. Oh my goodness, you are so happy. It looks like you've got a big smile on, so it looks like you're going to have fun with Victoria Sampler for a few weeks or months. Well done. Elizabeth said instant gratification. Exactly. That's, the endorphins in our brains. That's why I overeat too. I like those endorphins. So what's the next one? Noah's Ark. Noah's Garden is actually what I called it. And it was to match Woodland Garden and all the other little Victorian gardens that I had done so far. I think I did Cottage Garden already and Rose Arbor. And I just used a theme and created a little garden out of it. And Noah's Garden is particularly adorable. It's got a little elephants and, cats, and then, of course, some dogs, things that people identify with immediately. And on the ark, I think all I did on the ark was I didn't have any animals in the ark because it's too small. So I had a couple of lions, I think, or something coming out of the ark. And I also put some flowers at the top of the ark, like it's a little cottage. And of course, it's got some Bargello waves around it underneath. And there's some pigs as well. It's a wonderful little sampler that you can do. You can separate, instead of saying Noah's Garden, you can put a small child's name in there to make it so that it's fun for them to hang in their room. If you've got grandkids, that's a really good one for a child, and particularly a boy child, because they could identify. This is the leaflet, and it's slightly different colors, but you can also see that there is a free pattern that will eventually come up. Who knows? that's in there, I think. No, it's not in there. This one ended up being online free, but it's no longer free. Sorry about that. But this bell pull I also have. So it's shown here in two different color backgrounds, two color linens. And finally, thank you, Loretta. And finally, there's this one got back to my roots, which is, again, more in the elegant, delicate, more Victorian feel. And it's called Friendship Sampler. And for some reason, this really turned out to be a favorite for people as well. And I think it's because you can see it is good for to stitch and to keep or to give away. The hardanger is getting a little more complicated now. So we're now in the filling stitches that are more in my level 6 Beyond Cross Stitch course. So those kinds of filling stitches are not your usual simple ones. They're a little more complicated, and that really attracted people. But unfortunately, not enough people knew hardanger in order to make this. So those who did, way to go, because it wasn't an easy thing to suddenly jump into. I didn't know about specialty stitches when I first started Lamppost Designs. I learned about them, then I started putting them in samplers, and as I was putting them in samplers, I was learning all sorts of them. Like, I was continuously learning new ones myself. I'm still looking for the friendship sample. Oh, here it is, right in front of my eyes. There it is. So this is the real thing as a model. So as I was learning things, I incorporated them into my samplers, but then, you know, they had to be also charted. And this was very challenging for Lisa because we didn't have a program that would chart them easily. We did find a program that eventually, that was by the same person that made our regular program, which is called Easy Grapher. They also did a diagram making program. Both of those are pretty much now not available, but they're still the kinds of programs that we still use. We still use both programs and keep each other afloat by sending each other updates, not updates, sorry, fixes when we need to. Generally, you just have to reboot your whole system to make it work again. Anyway, this is the same pattern, but it's framed with a green mat around the outside. And I think Dee would really like this one. Dee is our framer. She loves green. So those are all of the models for today. Yay. That was quite a lot. I think I got a little over enthusiastic about Heirloom Christmas, but it really has. I think what happened when it was so popular is we got more courage. I got more courage, and we had more faith in our business. I got more faith. I think Lisa always had faith in it. But from my point of view, it was a confirmation that it was possible to continue working at all this design work that was hard work with a lot of different details, that it was going to pay off. And it did. And I can't tell you how those times when you're an entrepreneur, which I guess was what I am, when you're doing that, you have to have this persistence and this faith in what you're doing. And I also, of course, had this incredible love for what I was doing. And the people that I was working with had that same love. So luckily, everything came together with knowledge of my partner in order to make the business part a success. And I can't tell you enough that you can design all you want, but to get it out there, that was really the key. And once it was out and it started to have its own momentum, then I could see, okay, we could now not relax necessarily that we make something that people don't want, but we can relax in the expectation that it will come back to us, and we can afford to build up an inventory and things like that. So if I'm talking too much business, it's because it is a business, what I've done, and I could not have done without all the help. Not just Lisa did, but the various different employees we had, and my partner Richard, who was able to go, no, you're going the wrong way. Are you buying too much inventory? Things like that. You learn as you go, right? So I did want to sort of go through the historical part of this because this was where we started to hit our stride. And it was exciting, really exciting to see how many people loved it too. Ah, yeah, you're absolutely right, Lisa. You had the faith when I didn't, that's for sure. That's for sure. Hola, Thea, feliz tarde, grupo. And I'm going to say, happy afternoon, group. Have a joyful weekend. Thank you, Magali. It's very nice to see you. And hola to you too. Ah, oh, Lisa says that the promise pillow, which is, yes, it is it's in a mini pattern in the website. Okay, so this one here, even though I thought it was not yet on the website, Lisa just told me it is on the website and it's a mini pattern, and she would know because she put it there. Thank you, Lisa. That's good. That's great. And Margaret Big says, I have that pattern. I just received it. Someone was clearing out their patterns. Awesome. It's nice to get them printed, I'm sure. That's great. And I said hello to everyone. Marty says, I'm so ready for a new monthly tree. I am understanding you completely. And I want you to know that the March tree has been designed and it's sitting right there ready for next time, because it's not quite ready yet because it's only February 24th. So next week, Friday, I will show you your March tree. And I'm glad that you are looking forward to it. It's really kind of fun to create them. They're small little designs, but they have a lot of meaning to them as well, especially if you read the little blurb on the inside of the front of the pattern itself. Okay, so I have one more thing to share with you, which is that I wanted to do an auction item. And the auction that I'm going to auction off, I think this is my last. Nope, I have one more Kathy's patterns to go. This little model is a companion to the donkey that we had earlier, which was sing like nobody's listening or something like that. This one's dance like nobody's watching. And I love this pattern because the little pig is dancing with all these flowers. Totally unique colors. The background is very country, and then the little soft pig and the soft little flowers and the message, which is what I like the most. So if you have a bit of a country decor, this would fit in beautifully. I'm going to put it up as an auction item. It doesn't have any glass, so it's perfectly light to send. Won't cost too much to frame. And Margaret says, I'm just wondering if you still have thoughts about the mystery payable stitch along we discussed a while ago. Yes. Hi, Mickey Bressard. I do have to say, let's see, Lisa's just leaving. Thank you. I'll see you next time. I'll see you Tuesday. Okay. Have a good time and wish your mom a very happy 80th birthday. Margaret, as far as the thoughts about the mystery stitch along, I have thought about it. Because I am moving, I can't do it now. That's as simple as I can put it. I have it front and center in my plans, in my dreams. And I think because I'm not moving until June, it's going to be a little while before I have it designed so that it's ready to go. So please, I hope you have patience because I am going to do it. It's just a question of when. And because I can't predict when you're in the middle of moving and you don't even know where you're moving to, I have so much to do with regard to that, and also still interacting with my partner in Mazatlan, who's got always lots of ideas. So from my point of view, I still have to settle all sorts of other things, like selling my break front in my dining room. I sold my dining room table. These all take time. It's amazing. You can sell them on Marketplace in Facebook, and it is working. It's fine, but it takes a lot of time to measure and put them up and then do the description and then message the people back and forth, and then they finally decide they don't want it anymore or whatever. So that's been occupying a lot of my free time as well. So as far as designing goes, I am at the moment in the process of designing the piece that I'm going to teach in October, and that's my priority, and that will be taught in Stitcher's Hideaway at Sturbridge for Jen and for Sue as well, of course. So that's my priority, and until you hear different, I am not going to be doing any other designing, no other setup. because I know I can do this as I release the mystery stitch along. I can keep up. I can do it as I go. So I wouldn't mind doing it that way at all. But I don't want to start anything and then find that I'm really overworked. So there you go. Thank you for checking with me, because it's important. I talked about it and I was hoping that I would be able to do it right away, but after that my house sold totally unexpectedly. Have a great weekend to everyone as well. It's 10:25, which means to me we're almost an hour again. Cannot believe how the time goes so quickly. Even when I'm all by myself, I managed to fill it all up with chit chat. Oh, don't forget, I'm also on my own here, so I don't get to talk to people all that much every day. So it's been a great release for me to have a little friendly chat with you and to show you some of the history of Victoria Sampler and stay in touch, because I will not give up Victoria Sampler. As far as I know, I will not give it up. So period. And I'm hoping to resuscitate parts of Victoria Sampler in the future. So thank you so much for being here. And Patty says, our pleasure. How lovely, and totally understand, says Margaret. I am a busy lady. There may be needle rolls in the future, absolutely. And any suggestions are always welcome, but I'm not making any promises at this point. Who's listening from, from Stitcher's Hideaway alumni? I know Sue is, and I'm pretty sure that Jen is, and then some other people, but I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Are you there? Because then you are too. Judy Holmes, snowing in Liverpool. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that it looks like everyone has had some of that really cold weather. So I wish you all the best with the cold weather. Stay inside, eat soup and bread, and relax by your wonderful favorite stitching window with your lovely chair and all your stitching paraphernalia. That's what I wish for you this weekend. Oh, I'm sad you're not there too. Oh, Deb's there. Hello, Deb. Sorry, I just got a notification that Deborah's there, Deb Milvey. So please say hello to everyone that you know. And Susan says, we'll patiently wait with everyone. Thank you. Great weekend, Thea. And also, we'll patiently wait for your surprise package. It will be in the mail, as they say. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you next Friday with a new tree for March. Bye-bye.